Our next inductee is going into our Hall of Fame in the category of media. But that is an understatement to all that he's done in the sport of boxing. He's been a fight manager, matchmaker, promoter, booking agent, and publicist. On top of all his media accomplishments, as a producer and journalist, I'm tired just reading all of his jobs up here. He was born on November 24th, 1960 in Newark, New Jersey. After graduating from the University of Miami, he worked as an editorial consultant for the popular USA Tuesday Night Fights. He was also in front of the camera as a color commentator for Sunshine Network and Prime Network. He called more than a dozen world title fights for national and international television. His talents have also been heard on the radio. He created and hosted sports programs in both Las Vegas and Miami. He's also worked as a sports handicapper for 20 years and a consultant to the casino industry. He's credited with helping launch Casino Magic in Mississippi as a major sports location. He's also been a major proponent calling for reform in the boxing industry. He authored a series of books, Operation Cleanup, outlining issues for reform both in and outside the ring. He's been the recipient of many honors and awards, among them the Dignity Award in the category of Best Sports Writer, bestowed to him by the Retired Boxers Foundation. He continues to write and offer his expertise on boxing on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame Class of 2017, boxing writer and commentator, Charles Jay.
First things first, a great weekend. Thank you to Butch and Kathy, Bob, Dr. Mel, Don Cogswell, Steve Canton, everybody. It was just first class all the way. First time here. It was great. Thank you very much. And obviously, congratulations to my fellow inductees this year. I've been really bragging about you guys and gal for a while now, talking to people. Yeah, I have. Michael Moore is one of the great light heavyweights of all time, and Winky Wright is one of the great fighters of our generation, and I do have another Alex Stewart story, so I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. And also thanks Smitty, okay? I think a lot of people know Smitty here. He just, I believe, likes hearing his name mentioned in association with stuff like this, and I know he's probably watching this live right now, but he's actually the one that let me know that I was elected. So it was a message in the middle of the night. He said, congratulations. And I said, congratulations. Thank you. For what? I said, I think later on he asked me what I was going to put in my speech. And I says, well, I think it's, and I started to think about it. And I thought about the fact that probably most of the people who were instrumental in me in the early years of my boxing experience are inductees into this Hall of Fame. And so, because I remember the first person I met in boxing was Hank Kaplan and Irv Abramson and Santos Perez, Jim Guestwicki, and Ricky Encinosa, and these were the first guys I knew, and I didn't know anything about anything having to do with boxing, and I just hung around it a little bit, to be perfectly honest with you. And then, as time progressed, I met more people who are inductees in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and then it led to really my first regular gig in boxing, which was up here for Phil Alessi, working in First public relations, and then eventually as an assistant matchmaker to Brad Jacobs, who I grew up across the street from and who was also been inducted, I think, a few years ago, right here. And later became a matchmaker. Age 24, I was doing matches for USA Network fights and stuff, and I may be the youngest, I'm not sure, to do that kind of a thing. So things started to happen quickly. And of course, Smitty, who I'll mention again, was probably the first guy to put me on the air all the time. And so I got to sort of get my radio legs under me at that point. And then, of course, and I was hoping to see him up here this weekend, but Tommy Torino, another guy who I had a lot of adventures with Tommy. And I could tell you stories about him that would make you laugh, but he's not here, and I want him to be here to defend himself if I'm going to tell a story, because I know he's going to do this deal, and I tell that he's going to go, Chuck, please. Because I'll tell you in private later on, Bob, he gave me my start in ring announcing in sort of an impromptu manner, but I don't have enough time because we do have a timekeeper, don't we, who will ring the bell when I'm finished here? Okay, I will get that. Okay. Dan Birmingham and Jimmy McLaughlin. When I was putting amateur shows on up here, if those guys, if not for guys like that, I don't think we'd have been able to put those shows on. And David Santos, who's also here in the Hall of Fame, was like our star boxer on those. He was 14 years old. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Jimmy Williams, where are you? I don't know where he is. Where is he? Okay. I mean, just the ultimate teacher. He was our trainer at the gym for Leslie, and I got to watch him, on a daily basis, and the guy's just incomparable. I mean, and he was moving like a 25-year-old, wasn't he, Don, in there yesterday? I couldn't believe it. He's 90 years young. So it's great to see all these people up here for this weekend and discover some things. I mean, where are you, Rick Bays? I don't know, wherever you are here. You're here somewhere. I discovered last night that I was at least 10% responsible for his marriage. Right? After a show that I did. And the better news was that I was 0% responsible for his divorce. And that was good to hear as well. Really, I was. And I could go on and on about all the people that have influenced me and the people I've watched, but I have to tell a little bit about Alex Stewart because you thought you'd heard all the stories that you could possibly hear. And my unconventional mentor in this business was Johnny Boz. And, also, of course, influential over a lot of people and a member of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and Johnny took me under his wing at a very early age, and we were friends for, whatever it was, 25 years, 30 years, and he occasionally had me doing volunteer work as a play-by-play commentator when he would do shows over at the Boatyard. Was it the Boatyard over in Clearwater? And so I was, it was local cable, he was putting on a show, and I was supposed to do commentary, the play-by-play, and he said, you're going to be working with Alex Stewart. But there was no Alex Stewart when I started the broadcast, and so I sat down and started doing everything by myself, and, and I'm watching the fights, and I'm watching in the ring and stuff, and I think it was the first or second fight, and somebody gets knocked down, and that's a knockdown, and blah, blah, and I'm talking, and I'm looking this way, and all of a sudden, and of course, Alex had a very distinctive voice, sort of a high-pitched voice, right? And all of a sudden, I got my headphones on, and all of a sudden, I hear, and I don't know if he's going to get it, and I'm going, who the hell is that? And all of a sudden, he's there, and he's sitting, he's got the microphone, all right? So there's an Alex Stewart story that maybe you hadn't heard, so... seriously though, going through this weekend, you get, I think, the sense of another purpose. Obviously, we celebrate people here, celebrate people for what they've done. And if you go to some of the breakout sessions, the seminars here, you understand that as an institution, the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame can serve the purpose of informing, educating, and enlightening people. Because you see all the people that have gone through it, that were at all of these sessions, and they will tell you what it's all about, all right? Because we all go on Facebook. Well, some of us go on Facebook, not all of us, but I do. But, you know, when we see these posts from people, everybody, I have come across so many instant boxing experts on Facebook that it's astounding. And they all know when a guy should have quit or not quit in a fight, okay? We got a guy, Kell Brook, okay? He's got an eye puffed up like this, and it's like he quit. You should fight to the end. You should be, ready to die for the, on and on and on. Eric Botcher, who I don't think is here, but Eric, if you guys know him, he was very eloquent about this in a Facebook post about a week ago, where he talked about coming across people talking about the so-called warrior code, and that they have no concept of what this is all about. And it's not playtime. You don't play boxing, as they say, and I played it about a week or two ago, and I got some teeth knocked out, okay, fooling around with my gloves and stuff. So I know, but I've known that for years anyway. And I believe that as an institution, because we're in this time now where we're actually entertaining people talking about whether the Mayweather-McGregor fight is a real fight. It's an event, but there are people who are not enlightened enough to understand it's a non-fight. Am I correct or not? And so I think that I'm not saying all the media, some of the media will paint boxing in a certain way, not knowing it. And I believe that there is an opportunity through this organization to enlighten and inform people. And most of you people here know a lot more than most of the people out there. So it is an opportunity, and I hope some people see. Steve, there were videotapes of those sessions, right? Weren't there? Yeah, to hear the experiences of some of these people is very, very enlightening, and I think that that serves a purpose into the future. And also, I know that this is an organization very concerned with youth and developing youth, and possibly through boxing, and that's obviously a very, very noble purpose. And so I think that's something also that needs to be recognized. I wish I could tell the Tommy Torino stories, but I definitely have to tell him when he's here. Maybe next year at the banquet. But again, though, I hope I haven't forgotten anything up here. But I appreciate everybody that's had a positive influence on me, or even a negative influence on me, whatever. It's all about experience, and it's been a great experience along the way. And again, a great, great honor. And thanks to the team, and Butch and Kathy. You'll see me again, if you don't mind. Okay, thank you.